Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome. It is 6:58, so if you're just joining on the replay, just hang a couple minutes with me. If you are logging on live with me, hang tight. I'm going to wait for Arnell to let me know he can see me, and then we'll jump in at 7 o'clock straight up. Excellent. Thank you, Arnell. So as you're just getting here, just begin to breathe a little deeper into your body. All right. Hi, everybody. If you're logging in, make sure you're saying hello in the comments. As always, I'll come back and see who was here live. And I'll come back after that and see who joined us on the replay. And as we're all waiting for each other to log in, say hello, just make sure you're breathing full and slow and deep into your body. Excuse me. Okay, it's 7 o'clock straight up, so I am going to jump right in. As always, I want to do what we've been doing regularly. I want to just pause and breathe for a second. If you feel like putting your jumper cables on your chest cavity, go ahead. Don't let this routine become null and void. Use it intentionally. We're placing our hands on as our jumper cables because there's energy flowing through them. We want that energy to connect with the energy in our upgraded command center, in our heart chakra, in that gold ball of light that holds the eternal expression of you and your eternal wisdom and accumulated knowledge. So with your hands right there, go ahead and close your eyes if that feels good. Breathe into that space, and as you exhale, let your body soften. Let your body be involved. Let your nervous system say, let my command center come forward. And your command center interacts with your body differently than the lower frequencies do. Take another big breath into that gold ball of light and just feel yourself settle into it. Feel yourself connect with it like you're tuning a radio dial to another type of music. Feel it. And then take one more big breath in, and as you exhale, just see if you can connect with the sense of peace that resides there. And then with that little gentle activation, go ahead and open your eyes. Excuse me, I got a cough. Go ahead and open your eyes and take your hands off your chest and just feel that light expand out into your space. Feel it expand into your screen. Feel it unite us all in just one sacred circle of our little tribe, all supporting each other, all receiving the medicine of the messages, all doing our very best to stay on track and just let our I am presence begin to fully embody the same physical body we've been living our 3D persona in for multiple lifetimes. So I want to start with, on Saturday in our sacred circle, we explored what turned out to be a pretty remarkably simple but powerful question. And that question came from the elders. If fear were not speaking right now, what would my deeper knowing be saying to me about this situation? And we began by identifying a challenge or a concern or a struggle or something that currently 6 months into this life, or into this year rather, is present in our lives. And then we asked that question. And what I found, and we wrote about it, and what I find fascinating and what I've known about most of you for quite a while now is I've been working with you over all of these years. What you You didn't need to search very long for the answer. Your deeper knowing was always there. It was right there ready. It wasn't hidden, it wasn't broken. It was simply quieter than the fear that gets to talk the loudest and listen to the most. I'm pointing that out because it feels super important in the month of June, according to all the messages, and we've received 3 so far. Excuse me. It feels super important to pay attention to that this month because I don't believe for any of us, for any of you on the screen right now, the challenge facing most of us isn't a lack of guidance. The challenge is that you've spent a lifetime, multiple lifetimes, being trained over and over and over again to pay attention to the fear rather than your own inner guidance. We were trained to override it. And if you've been following the messages from the elders for the last several years, you've heard them remind us again and again and again. And 2026 is going to be a massive year for this. Humanity is moving through the dismantling of the energetic scaffolding that has allowed us all to live on this frequency for multiple lifetimes. And in meditation yesterday, my own meditation, hold on, I'm sorry, I need to cough. In my meditation yesterday, the elders reminded me that in 2023, they told us we would have to develop a new relationship with fear. And I assured them I had never forgot that. Do any of you remember that? Do you remember them telling that? And then the question they gave us for this month is part of that. Not because fear is bad, not because fear is our enemy. In fact, they also told us, I don't know how many years in the past, that fear is one of our greatest teachers, calling us into the unknown, which is the only place that we can become the next expanded version of ourselves. Anyone remember them telling us that? I'm sharing all that with you because all that prep all those years ago about fear being one of our greatest teachers and fear always calling us forward has been preparation for what we're experiencing right now. They prepped us then for the question they had us explore and are going to have us continue to explore this month. Fear. I just lost my train of thought. Fear, that's what I was going to say. Fear has always served us well. It's kind of hard to fathom this, but fear has always served us well as we developed our personas on the lower frequency. It was part of the training because we had to develop a new relationship with it after we had a solid old relationship with it that kept us in oppression and kept us small and kept us overriding our knowing. All of that was preparation for where we find ourselves right now because fear was never meant to be the primary guidance system. It was the training wheels we needed to experience one more time in this lifetime so we could transition out of it individually and as a group. And this month feels way less, according to all the messages that we've received, it's way less about understanding more about fear. I mean, for real, what else do we need to know about it? June and beyond is about strengthening our relationship with this I am presence that has been coming on over the last many, many years. And now they're calling it the soul signal. That inner guidance, your I am presence, the essence of you as source, now having the full capacity to embody the body that you're living in right now, all while fear in the outer world gets batshit crazier louder. In the extra message that the elders brought forward for Saturday's circle, they said, feed the soul, listen to the soul. They said, feed the soul signal, listen to the soul signal, and follow the soul signal. I don't know why, but I'm in this little habit this month of asking them questions about what they're saying. So I asked them, okay, from your perspective, how would you tell us how to feed, listen, and follow the soul signal? And they brought a response forward, and I'm going to read it to you right now. Listen and pay attention. Yes, I will send this to you all in an email. We've been so prepared. So let me read this. This is just a simple response to that question. Beloved ones, feed the soul signal by spending less time with the voices that make you afraid and more time with the experiences that remind you who you are. For example, if you spend 30 minutes reading headlines that leave you feeling anxious, angry, or powerless, and 5 minutes sitting quietly in nature, which signal are you feeding? The soul signal grows stronger when you intentionally spend time with what reconnects you to peace, clarity, gratitude, creativity, love, and wonder. Listen to the soul signal by asking, what is actually true right now? Whenever fear begins telling you a story about the future, for example, you receive unexpected news that creates uncertainty. Fear immediately begins to say, what if everything falls apart? What if I can't handle this? What if I'm not going to be okay? Pause. Take a breath and ask, what is actually true right now? And you're going to discover that in this moment, you still have a roof over your head, you still have food to eat, you still have people who care about you, you are still breathing, and you are still capable of taking the next step. The soul speaks most clearly from what is true now, not from what fear imagines what's next. Follow the soul signal by taking the next step your inner guidance offers before fear talks you out of it. For example, you have known for weeks that you need to make a phone call, have an honest conversation, set a boundary, ask for help, or begin something new. The guidance has already arrived. Yet fear keeps saying, wait a little longer, think about it more, maybe tomorrow. What if it goes badly? The soul signal is often very simple. Make the call, send the email, have the conversation, take the walk, sign up for the class, begin. The soul rarely reveals the entire path. It simply illuminates the next step. Trust that, then trust the next one and the next. This is how the soul signal grows stronger within you. And we are with you always, the elders. I love, excuse me, I love how practical that is. I love how practical they have been becoming all through 2026. Have you noticed that? This message isn't giving us complicated spiritual process. It gives us 3 things that we can actually practice this week. Excuse me. What am I feeling? What's actually true right now? And what is the next step I already know to take? That's so important. That's it. What am I feeding? What is actually happening right? What is actually true right now? And what's the next step I already know to take? And here's what really stuck out to me in our Sacred Circle on Saturday. When everybody asked themselves, if fear weren't speaking right now, what would my deeper knowing be saying? Almost everyone knew. Their deeper knowing wasn't confused. Your deeper knowing wasn't waiting. It wasn't waiting for another workshop or another book or another teacher or another message from the elders. Feel that. Your inner knowing was already speaking. The challenge was that fear was speaking louder, and that's what June is about. And that's what I want to offer as an invitation for all of us this week. We can't eliminate fear, and we don't need to fight fear. We just need to stop giving fear the microphone and letting it speak the longest and the loudest. It's going to speak. And if you hand it the mic, you're going to listen, and it's going to reverberate through every cell of your being, because it's going to always have something to say. So the question then becomes, does fear get the final word, or does it prompt me to go back into my inner guidance right in the moment where fear is shutting me down? That's what's most important for this week. And I want to invite you to carry 2 questions with you, okay? Take a breath with me. Breathe in to that center. The question is, what is actually true right now? Use that. And the second is, if fear weren't speaking right now, what would my deeper knowing be saying about this situation? Breathe. I want you to ask it often. I want you to ask when you're worried, or when you're triggered, or when you're uncertain, when you're making decisions. Ask the question, what is my inner guidance saying in this moment? And in that moment, it's going to reveal the next step, not the entire path. So our challenge to each other this week is, will I pause and use the questions? And more importantly, will I follow and take the next step so the next one can show up? All of this is, so it's 7:15. I want you to stick with me just about another 5 minutes, okay? So all of this is coming on the heels of something really big that has just come through. I'm not going to go into a bunch of details, but the elders talked to me about it a little bit, and because they talked to me about it, I went to see online if there was other stuff about it, and you can find all kinds of stuff about it. But I wouldn't encourage you to go spend the time doing that. But I do want you to, I'm sharing this with you because I want you to understand how we are being supported by Source itself through the intelligence of the sun. Over this past weekend, the sun from a very different section of itself, and the sun, if you don't know, is where Source itself from its original point called still point up in the universe, where Source itself emanates energy into our sun, which is full of information, and then that's how, through the electromagnetic field of the sun, in addition to all the life that it supports because of all the things the sun does for us, it also transmits information into our galaxy in spurts that we're capable of receiving. And from a section of the sun that is not normally activated, 3 huge waves came, boom, ripple, 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 ripple toward the earth. And one of those ripples moved faster and caught up with the one in front of it and merged and became this super force of information hitting all of us over the weekend, activating our dormant DNA that knew we would be here on the planet in this moment, awakening through the chaos, developing this new relationship with fear, and we got a new wave of support. I want you to feel that. You're not doing this alone, and you've never been doing it alone. And if you look back over this year, in the first 6 months, I guarantee you, every single one of you can look at situations where you have interacted less fearfully, where you have had thoughts that came clearly, of clarity, that you have felt much more peace in dynamic situations that normally would have spiraled you. It's important to pause and recognize how far we have really come. It's important that you pause and recognize how you're not making this up. From our wounded personas, we want somebody to flip a switch and have us step into a euphoric new earth of euphoria and utopia, and have everybody just be somebody different than they are. And that's not the ascension process. We are talking about 9 million people, almost 9 billion people of a species evolving our consciousness the same way our bodies evolved over millions of years. And we're doing it at lightning speed. So I want you to feel, before we hang up today, I want you to feel into yourself and ask yourself, what is your commitment? What is your commitment right here, right now, before we hang up? What is your commitment to yourself to stop giving fear the microphone so it land blasts you and reverberates and shuts you down? And in this moment, what is your commitment to say, I'm going to interact with fear at a higher level starting today? Because you've got dormant DNA that's being, this week, you're being integrated. Your physical body and your light body and your emotional body are being integrated through this dormant DNA that's going off in all of us right now. And that's going to support you, but the decision is yours. But if you make the decision to ask the question often, this dormant DNA, that softer voice that wants to become what embodies us in this body, the fullness of who we are, as the noise continues to get louder. So what is true right now? And if fear wasn't talking right now, what is my inner guidance saying? And then listen to it. Don't just go, oh, that's what it's saying, and don't do anything with it. Listen to it. It will become just the natural you. You'll just know what to do when you need to know. And you just go where you need to go when it's time to go. And you just say what you need to say when it's time to say, because you'll just become the I am presence version of you living on this same planet. We've been living the lower frequency version of us. So what does that look like? It means just giving yourself permission to trust and be and do. Trust and be and do. Stop sitting in your living room repeating the old same fearful story about why you can't or why you won't. Stop. 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 That's a choice. And that choice feeds the fear frequency. And you just got a big blast of energy that is supporting the expansion of the I am version of you. But you can download all kinds of stuff on your computer and never take your cursor and open it up and read it and then benefit from it. You got all kinds of downloads and uploads exploding within your operating system right now. And the pause and the breath and the question, what is true right now? What's my inner guidance saying? And then trusting, following, and doing is going to be how we're going to surprise and amaze ourselves as we move through whatever obstacles may come our way. It's so powerful, and it's right here. Don't let fear activate the old loops in your mind. The truth is not in your mind. Memory of horrible situations want to filter what comes through the mind. Impulses of thought that want to come will come through the question, what's my inner guidance saying? Being still, being in the breath and letting those impulses of thought come up into the mind. And right when they do, a counter thought will probably show up. Notice and choose. Notice and choose. That's how we're going to continue to surprise and amaze ourselves with ease and flow as the current coming right from here guides and directs us. And you've been doing it for as long as you've been working with me. And we just got an upgrade. All of us. No one's excluded. Feel that. Before we go, take your jumper cables, put it on your chest cavity, soften your shoulders. Breathe into your I am presence. Breathe into the intelligence of your soul, taking up full residence in your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body. And just let it expand right here, right now. and ask the question right now on the heels of what we just shared together from the message they brought forward today. Ask the question, what is my higher self saying to me right now? Feel it as a knowing if it's not coming as words. Hear it as words if it's coming as words. Feel it in your body, however it wants to present to you. And in whatever way makes sense to you right now, acknowledge, I heard you, I feel you, I will follow the guidance and I will continue to seek it over the fear that jumps into my mind and activates my body. All right, that's where I'm going to leave you today. Have fun with it this week. And if you have one-on-one sessions this week, we'll pick up with all of this. If not, stick with these Magical Mondays. We're going to keep exploring how to nurture this soul signal that they're calling it. All right, I love you tons. Enjoy your day and have an awesome week. Bye for now.